So I think the unofficial start of the show should be me apologizing to Representative Gaetz because last show I said he wore socks with his sandals, and I misremembered that.
We're going to put it up on screen now.
Yeah, right here.
Yes,
right here.
Yeah. It's in fact Representative Gaetz wearing sandals, but no socks.
But no socks.
And I said, "Sir, how dare you?" And you didn't dare, frankly. And so I feel better about myself for not knowing that.
I'm 44. I don't remember everything.
It is Tails. You gotta go hand in hand.
Our brand new app, right? First thing I want to talk to you about is an article that I saw.
Yes.
From AP, the Associated Press. They were talking about how over-tourism is becoming an issue for big tourism destinations. They cited a place in Portugal where a guy has to basically hide in his house all year, and it's really bumming him out, as you might guess. But I thought it'd be awesome.
Because he's a local?
He is a local in this town in Portugal that gets visited constantly by, I'm guessing,
tourists,
non-Portuguese people. I don't know, maybe Portuguese people.
All the tourists.
Anyway,
they don't discriminate there.
The thing I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that we have a very large tourism industry here that
you don't say
does have some knock-on effects here in Niceville proper, but in Okaloosa County more generally.
Yep.
And if you are a economic development expert, neither of us are, but we play one on our YouTube show sometimes. Do you see us heading towards an economic cliff with over-tourism? Do you think we have too many tourists here in the area? Why or why not?
Well, I know for a fact that you have the numbers. So let's go over a couple of those numbers, and then I can tell you my opinions on them.
Please do. You want to give them or you want me?
I'll start. So I think in 2019 we had 7.6 million people visit Okaloosa County, and in 22 we had 7.9. So that's like, I don't know, 5% increase, something like that.
And we had, visitor spend was up to $755 million from about $575 million.
Which is way more than 5%. So that means more people are coming, but they're spending even more money when they're here.
Way more money. And that's one of the big things we talked about last week at the Chamber Breakfast. The Niceville Chamber Breakfast was sponsored by the Destin-Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce. And that's kind of what got me thinking about this in the first place is they're talking about how they're bringing fewer people here, and some of the data bears that out from the year prior. We had like sort of a dip, I think, in total numbers.
Yeah, the COVID years were good to us. Yeah,
the COVID years were good to us, but we're seeing more of a leveling in the sheer volume of people, and we're seeing a significantly increased spend, and that's what the tourism pros over there at the TDC say is the best mix, because we are now having people pay premium prices for a premium destination, and that is a direct quote from them. I didn't make that up.
Well, I like that. I mean, if you're a local, right, you don't like tourists at all, first of all. But
I would say that I
think most people don't like
tourists. Think they don't like them on roads or in their face, but they do like their money.
I guess. The local business owners and people in Destin that have businesses that are tourist-related obviously love the tourists. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what you want to do. You want to, actually cause prices to go up and have less people here. So that's the right mix, and if the data is showing that over the last 3 to 4 years, then I hope that continues.
So if we look kind of closer to home, the Tourism Development Taxing District got expanded from basically Destin and Okaloosa Island and I think part of Fort Walton Beach to the entire county, which means that we can now spend tourism tax money in the entire county.
Yeah, that's good.
Including here in the Niceville area, and it has the restrictions that the state legislature puts on it. You have to spend it on something that's going to improve destination kind of stuff, or things for people to go to.
Loosey-goosey on what you can actually
It is kind of nebulous.
Yeah, it's a little nebulous.
And
But
so-
but I think, I mean, listen, I'm not a huge fan of taxes, and but I think if the tourists are paying the brunt of it, then good. And if the prices go up and the number of tourists go down, I think that as a local, that's what we want to see.
Indeed. And I'm curious, do you think that with our trend kind of trending slowly downward, do you think it'll pick back up here in the next couple of years? Because I kind of feel like we've reached capacity unless people start to want to do like they were talking about ecotourism and Crestview and nature tourism, stuff like that.
Sure.
Or doing some stuff here or on the bayous.
Yeah. I mean, I think tourism is gonna. I mean, they're gonna figure out a way to pack more people in if there's an ability to do that. The one concern I do have about this is like, you start making it more expensive for the tourists, it also becomes more expensive for the locals. So I would love to see more kind of the local businesses and stuff like help locals out a little bit more than the 5 or 10% off they'll give you from time to time, or maybe just have better off-peak pricing. But I also remember in the mid-'90s when pretty much everything closed in Destin, like even the fast food restaurants would close during the off-season. So the fact that a lot of these businesses are even open during the off-season is a benefit to us as locals. So,
Yeah.
Podcast viewers, I'm taking a break to remind you to subscribe and follow not only the podcast, but all these other socials right here. Christopher, put them right here. Put them right here for the people. All of our socials, right here.
All right, moving on to the comments section. This is, of course, Paul's favorite part. And I want to give you the first one because I thought it was super interesting. They were talking about search committees for police chiefs. We just hired a new police chief here in the city of Niceville. Big win for us. But the individual on this said, search committees! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Yeah.
You mean fake committees used to funnel taxpayers' monies between politicians and their friends appointed to these fake committees to be paid for with taxpayers' money. ATM of taxpayers' money with no withdrawal limit and no tracking of where this money goes and who it's going to and spent on. Period. Opinion. No period. Curious.
So this one's related to local hiring of Niceville sheriff?
No, of the Niceville police chief.
Yeah, Niceville police chief, sorry.
A little backstory, everybody. The Niceville police chief was recently hired.
Yeah.
And they had several committees that were appointed by the city manager, who is the ultimate hiring authority on that.
And we paid those people?
No.
Oh, so this comment that means nothing.
I think it's instructive, and here's why. I want to know what the better alternative is to having hiring committees.
Well, you should have hiring committees. You should ask people all the same questions. You should have a level playing field as much as possible. And I know that some municipalities and universities and places, they hire these people to run those committees to make sure that they do those things correctly, because there's nothing worse than a lawsuit.
I think the committee structure it's kind of like democracy itself. It's the worst form of government except for all of the other ones.
Okay.
You know, what is it, like a camel is a horse built by committee. Nothing's perfect when a bunch of people are involved. But at the end, I feel like it's the most fair process. And so,
yeah, what else do you want to do? Just have the city manager decide?
that's what I mean. When
You're gonna be mad at them then anyway.
When I see that people getting mad at committees, it's kind of like when I see people getting mad at referees at sports games. Like,
we just won't have the game.
Yeah, we just won't have the game. And so I just wanted to call that one out because I really, really, really didn't like it.
I'll read this one. You tell us what it's about.
Okay.
I think I know what it's about. He was falsely accused. Now hire him back. Do the right thing and give the young man back his life and career.
So this one was about a Okaloosa Sheriff's deputy we ran a story about last week who was pulled over by a Fort Walton Beach Police Department officer. He was then arrested for reckless driving, felony reckless driving.
Yeah.
And then, of course...
was it a motorcycle?
It was a motorcycle.
Yeah, I thought
and
so.
he lost his job at the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office because their policy is to immediately fire anybody that has been charged with a felony. And so this person wants that person to get, this young man to get his job back.
I bet he doesn't want it back.
I was about to say I wouldn't want to go back.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we know all the information.
No.
And whether it was really reckless driving and the charges were just dropped just for the sake of dropping them, or a mea culpa or whatever. But I wouldn't want to go back. I think he could, as long as if he's got a clean record, he still wants to be a cop, then maybe he wants to try somewhere else.
Yeah. I think it's hard to go back when something like this happens. Right, wrong, or indifferent on the sheriff. Like, they have a policy that's enforced, and I think for the most part it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would think 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10, they probably get this one right, but this is that one, and it kind of feels like it rains. When it rains, it pours over there right now. And so there's an extra bit of scrutiny, I guess from ourselves included, on the sheriff's office right now with just a lot of stuff going on. And so it's a tough one, but again, if I'm this former deputy, I'm out. I'm gonna go work at Walton County or Niceville Police or somewhere else. I hear they have a new chief who's probably looking for some
new hires.
People with this whole law enforcement officer shortage we have here nationwide. Yeah. And then next one,
we'll take them. Bring them here.
Exactly. Lillian Fowler, 104-year-old Lillian Fowler.
A great story last week.
Really cool story about her and all the things that she has lived to experience. They say, thanks for recognizing this force of nature, going strong with the cupcakes. And you can see on the...
She makes cupcakes?
She had cupcakes. They had a huge party with the cupcakes. And on screen right now, you can see some of those
delicious cupcakes.
And we, again, wish you... I feel like you can't wish somebody that's 104 enough happy birthdays. Like, it's just something...
I hope she makes it to 110 or more.
She has a whole gardening plan, so she's got stuff to do, and I feel like as long as you have a mission in life, you got a strong will.
Yep.
Paul and Saul is brought to you by Mid-Bay News. Here at Mid-Bay News, we keep you connected with everything that has to do with Niceville, Valparaiso, and the rest of Okaloosa County. Check us out, midbaynews.com. Subscribe to our newsletter to get updates twice a week to your inbox, and download our app if you have an iOS-based system.
Absolutely.
Coming up this week as we go into the news week.
It's a big week.
It's a huge week here at Mid-Bay News because we're covering both elections and football. And, of course, there are some budget meetings that we have to get to as well.
Some of us care about one more than the other.
Well, I care about all of them, not equally, but in proportion to how they should be cared in my mind. So that makes no sense. That just says I like things differently. We're going to be doing a lot of election coverage. We're going to be doing a good amount of football coverage, and we're going to be doing some budget coverage. So prepare for that. Yeah. And we will be live tomorrow here on our various social media channels with the election returns as they come in.
Sweet.
Letting you know who's won, lost, what the score is, and who your next county commissioners, and who's won the sheriff's race, and who your next school board member will be.
Yeah, so. I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. I heard that the numbers on early voting were up, so that's really good.
The numbers were complicated, and the early voters that went to the actual polls, it's a new record, is what Paul Lux said.
Yeah, it's up.
Unfortunately, the absentee ballot numbers are down significantly as well. So we're having a net negative, but a lot of people actually showed up to the polls this time in record numbers. So, hey, that's pretty cool.
Now, why are the absentee ballots low?
So we passed a law here in the state of Florida 2 years ago. It was one of Governor DeSantis' election integrity bills, but it essentially cleaned a lot of voter rolls and required people to re-up their requests for mail ballots much more frequently.
So we might see a dip in absentee ballots like this year, maybe next year. Maybe we'll start seeing an uptick as people get used to the process.
I would guess. Yeah. I mean, people are creatures of habit, right? And so if they can set back up all those, it's kind of like when you lose your credit card and you have to sign up for all your Netflix and all that stuff again. It just takes forever, and then you can't remember, and then you forgot, and somebody sends you an email. I think it's the same thing.
So on the football tip, I heard a thing that was pretty cool. It's there's college football, baseball, or basketball every weekend starting this upcoming weekend until mid-April.
How many days do you think that is? Like 250?
I don't know. It's going to be awesome.
It's a lot of days.
It's going to be awesome.
And it's going to be awesome because we have a lot of cool local players that are playing at the college level, midbaynews.com/ Sports to keep up with them. We're going to have a running update of how they're doing up there in
That's exciting.
Division I football.
Yep.
We also have the complete schedules for high school football here locally for all of your local teams. Everybody from South Walton to Crestview to, of course, Niceville.
I saw your graphic. Where's that going?
It is midbaynews.com/sports.
It's already there?
Oh, yeah. First button you push is calendar, and it's right there.
It's awesome. Go check out the graphic. You get to know who's playing when and for all the teams.
You'll know who's playing when, and then after the game ends, we'll put the win or loss on there so you can keep track of who's doing
sweet.
well. And then we also have your regional rankings up there, because I'll tell you the most confusing thing about high school football are
Max Preps?
Max Preps doesn't help, but the actual regions that teams are playing in,
that's
sometimes
the
don't
worst.
make sense. Like Rickards, I don't know where that is, but they're in a region with Fort Walton Beach and Choctaw. And,
I kind of miss the days when we were in the same area.
When everybody was the same A,
Yeah.
and it was Niceville, Fort Walton, Choctaw, Crestview, and it was just that's how it was.
The good old days.
Back in my day, boy.
Back in my day, boy.
Anyway, buying and selling. I believe that I guess it's my turn to go, or is it your turn to go?
It doesn't matter. I am ill prepared.
As am I. I'm buying face-to-face interactions. I think that they're the best conflict resolution tool, and I think that you get a lot more out of them. And so I am thankful for them, and I am thankful for learning that lesson the hard way.
I wish I knew why you were using this one as your buy.
It's
interesting.
It's a good life lesson.
Maybe something happened to you this
Indeed.
past week.
But I think it's really cool when people can come together even when they initially disagree or feel like they disagree.
Yep.
And they just hash it out. I think it's the way to do it, and we should all do it.
All right.
And I should have done it sooner. How's that?
Fair enough.
And
What's
selling.
your sell?
As you know, I am still running, and I am selling the when the ice cubes don't melt fast enough in your Camelback as you're running as like a long distance runner.
Okay.
And then they just kind of they're cold.
Yeah.
But you can't drink any water. That's not cool.
Okay. Well, I'll go in and say that I'm buying fizzy water.
Oh yeah, dude.
I have a Soda Stream and I'm really liking it.
Man.
So I'm buying that. I am selling landlord hate.
Oh yes, good one.
Saw a couple really crappy posts on Facebook about the hate on landlords, and people came to the rescue in the comments for the most part, so that was good. But I pretty much disagree wholeheartedly with anyone who believes that landlords are somehow making the world a worse place.
Well,
so
it's everybody can cast rocks from their position. It's a lot easier.
Yep, true.
Anyway, in review this week, I want to
What's
cover
going
a couple
on
of really
this week?
Exciting things, at least from my perspective. I got to do a deep dive thanks to NCAA Football 25, College Football 25. Great game, by the way. I'm horrible at it. And I got to see which of our local players are on there and are doing well and thriving. As you might have guessed, Azariah Thomas, number 1 and 88 overall.
My kids say that you're saying his first name wrong.
I might be.
I don't know.
People can say that.
That's why I call him Mr. Thomas.
Mr. Thomas. Anyway, the Voisin brothers from Crestview, also on there. And I got some help from a reader of Mid-Bay News who realized that I had missed Joe Hansen over at Coastal Carolina.
Oh, nice.
So we added Joe Hansen to the story today. And
the other update I have is I think Firestone is not playing football anymore.
He is not. That's correct. So Austin Firestone, formerly of Northwestern and Missouri, and Niceville High School, has decided to bow out of the football game. Much respect to him, because anybody that gets to go to Northwestern or Mizzou, those are fine schools. And so I'd say it worked out for him.
Sometimes you make life decisions that pay off better for you in the future. So
exactly.
He has a lot of football under him.
And let's see. The other thing I really would love to talk to you guys about is the new police chief is in town, and he is, I guess, getting to work super early on August the 30th. So we have about 13 days left with Chief Lovering, who was our interim chief over at Niceville Police, who replaced the departed David Popwell. And then Chief Hayes, Mark Hayes, will be here starting in September.
That's exciting. It's good that we'll have some stability at that position moving forward.
Perfect.
But you've got an upcoming interview that you should talk about.
Yes.
It's going to be a good one.
Finally, coming up, talking to, I guess, Coach J.P. McHale. He is
or trainer.
Trainer J.P. McHale.
Yeah.
All-around dude.
He is a dude.
He's a dude.
He's
all
a
right.
dude.
Talk to him a little bit about his life story. He's a trainer fitness coach who is focusing here in Niceville on athletes and helping them to build themselves up so they can potentially get, scholarships or just become better players or better people. He has an amazing life story. Went to prison in Yazoo City,
Don't
Mississippi.
give it all away. Don't give it all away.
For something, and I'm not going to tell you because it is. I don't want to give it up. The long and the short of it is that this guy has taken lemons and made lemonade in like the most epic way possible, and it's a really fun encounter with him that I had. He's loud, he's proud, he's in charge, and he's just a cool guy who's really passionate about athletes and their performance. So if nothing else, I had a great time this afternoon when I did the interview.
JP is a true force and a fabulous human being, and his manager Kalen manages the Fort Walton facility that he has, which is a general fitness facility for anyone to use. And then he just opened this past year what you were talking about, the facility over in I guess it's technically got a Valpy address, but it's over near Elite 850.
Exactly, it's the same kind of massive piece of land
right off
there.
College. But yeah, he's reinvested his capital and made bets on the community, and the community is loving the product he's putting out. So shout out to JP, shout out to Kalen. You guys are killing it.
Yeah, and he's gotten results too. I mean, he's got several, I think, players in there right now. Wanye Thomas works out there frequently. His son, of course, went to Georgia Southern on a football scholarship. So the guy's doing it big, and you will have his story. I'm hoping either at the end of August or the beginning of September.
Video and a story, or just
video and a story?
Good.
We're going to do it big. And special thanks to Cindy Zimmerman, who sponsored that, because without her support, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm looking forward to that one.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have today, unless you got anything else.
Be nice, Niceville.
You heard the man. Paul and Saul is a production of Abstract Creative Communications. You can catch us on midbaynews.com for all the latest news, insight, and updates from the Okaloosa County and Emerald Coast area.